Hi, I'm General Booty. I'm the quarterback at the University of Oklahoma, and you are now tuned into the greatest podcast on turf. Enjoy.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to this week's first exclusive segment from the greatest podcast on turf. I'm Ryan.
I'm Anthony.
And we got our yearly, halfway through the season NFL mock draft. It is week 8, 9. We're on that span, and we're going to throw out a mock draft. I know it's not necessarily going to be correct. One, because the teams are going to change. However, we can kind of see where this season's starting to shape. We can kind of start putting players in positions, and it's fun to just start now.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't necessarily correlate.
Yeah, I mean, it's currently the draft order is going to change again in about 2 hours when the Raiders and Lions game ends.
Yes.
But yeah, here we are. We're going to be doing it collectively, just kind of talking about team needs, stuff like that. We got the Arizona Cardinals on the clock. As of today, Monday, October 30th, earlier today, the Cardinals said that they are not shopping Kyler Murray currently. So take it how you want. A lot could change from now to April when the actual draft is. But if the Cardinals have the 1 pick, it really wouldn't surprise me if they trade back. I mean, again, New England isn't notorious for it, but we talked about it earlier. New England could make the jump and get Caleb.
Giants,
absolutely. Maybe fucking even Green Bay. I don't think Jordan Love's necessarily the problem, but they, in theory, could.
Correct. I don't think he's the problem, and I think it might be a little early to jump ship on him.
Yeah. But, I mean, you don't know, though. A lot of teams, that kind of has gone up. I mean, just an example, I know it's a little different, but Josh Rosen, Cardinals jumped ship after a season.
It's true.
So it's like you really don't know. But as of right now, we're not doing trades. Me personally, this is one player and one player only. It is Marvin Harrison Jr.
Assuming we're not doing trades, yes, I agree. I generally think, if we were genuinely going to sit down and do all these trades, I would move the Giants up to 1 and create the Caleb Williams in New York story, because I feel like that correlates USC to New York type situation. But I'm cool with Marvin Harrison here. I'd even be fine with Olu Fashanu.
Yeah, I mean,
I think Marvin Harrison is a generational type of player, so I think we have to see.
Yeah, I mean, especially you drafted Paris Johnson. You still have another first-round pick where you could potentially get like a Joe Alt, who's kind of that same tier as Olu Fashanu. And you're, again, a generational talent, Marvin Harrison Jr. For Kyler Murray, your franchise guy. You have Hollywood Brown, who's been healthy for the most part this season up to when we're recording this. And he's been producing with Josh Dobbs. Michael Wilson has been another good receiver for them. So, I mean, bringing in Marvin Harrison to this receiving room with Trey McBride being a reliable tight end, I think that's a good fit here. So, Marvin Harrison's the pick. Chicago at 2 and 3. I don't know which pick is theirs and which one's the Panthers, but
don't matter at this point, because they're both going to be bottom feeders.
Caleb and Drake May.
If we're being honest, right, I don't think that the Chicago Bears' problem is Justin Fields. I think that they have problems that are way larger than we could even quantify. However, when you're in a situation where you can kind of get a fresh start, I'm not sure it's the worst scenario. If Caleb Williams says he's not going to play for Chicago, then that can be a kick. However, my vote here would be probably Caleb and Fashanu is probably where I would lean.
Yeah, I mean...
And then Trey Justin Fields.
I mean, I feel like Justin Fields still could hold value. I don't think he's been the problem, but again, you have Matt Eberflus is probably gone. You have a GM that stepped in after last season that Justin Fields necessarily wasn't his guy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this could be a chance where the GM just completely start fresh, get rid of Justin Fields. You have the draft capital for the next 2 years from trading out of the pick last year. So, again, ideally, it could be a fresh start for them. And, I mean, again, I know they have the Panthers pick, but again, if their pick is right here at 3, they're picking top 5 for a reason with their draft pick. So I don't mind going Caleb here and just giving Chicago a fresh start, bringing in a new head coach.
Yeah, Caleb can't fall, so we got to do it.
Yeah, and then, Olu Fashanu at 3, I don't hate. They drafted Darnell Wright, who's been solid for them. He hasn't been that good in pass pro, but he's just a mauler in the run game. Could potentially think of Brock Bowers here. I also could think they do think they could really use some help on the defensive line and just the defense in general. But I mean, when you have a chance to bring in Caleb Williams, who to some is the greatest quarterback prospect ever, coming into the NFL, to protect him, you have your franchise right tackle in Darnell Wright, and to be able to bring in a prospect who probably would have been a top 5 pick last year in Olu Fashanu, and is also right there. I mean, I don't think that's a bad idea. So,
bringing in 2 prospects that would have been top 5 picks last year.
Yeah.
For being honest, Caleb Williams would have been 1 last year.
Giants at 4.
They're probably a little pissed. Honestly,
it's a weird situation because you just paid Daniel Jones all that money, but he's not that good,
and he has a bad neck.
Yeah.
The neck thing, if one more time, and I hope it doesn't happen, but one more time, he could be out for his career.
Yeah.
In theory.
It's a weird situation. As much as I would love to send Drake May to New England at this next pick, I mean, realistically, though, where else are they going? I mean,
they're starting to sell because they just sent away
Leonard Williams for a 2nd-round pick.
And that's pretty good value. I mean,
yeah, I mean, getting a 2nd-round pick for an agent.
They need receiver. Marvin Harrison obviously isn't here.
I mean, this receiver class is so good. Marvin Harrison, Malik Neighbors, love Keon Coleman, Roma Dunze, Xavier Worthy, Emeka Buka. I mean, this is a very, very loaded receiver class. And even down the board, Adonai Mitchell, Xavier Legette,
Johnny Wilson, who's 6'7".
Troy Franklin's a stud. I mean, this is a very good receiver class. I mean, this, again, a team that wants a quarterback. If the Giants necessarily still think Daniel Jones is the guy, this could be a potential trade-up spot if this is how it falls. If Drake May is still sitting there at 4, who knows, New England could make the jump. Denver could make the jump. The Rams could make the jump. Washington could make the jump.
I don't think
Vegas,
so.
Tampa.
I think they're all in.
I mean, yeah, and I was going to touch on that more when we got there, but in theory, Tampa could. Chargers should. New Orleans. I mean, you got a lot of teams that could potentially jump up. But again, not doing trades this mock. It's receiver or quarterback for me.
I think we got to go Drake because there's not a receiver.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. Drake made the Giants and New England at 5. If this is the way
Patriots pick right here.
If this is the way the draft goes, like, and who knows, again, it's what? 5 or 6 months from now.
Yeah.
I mean, this pick just screams Brock Bowers, and the Patriots just have so much capital in the tight end room. A top 4 pick, Mike Gesicki and Hunter Henry, 2 of the highest paid tight ends in football. It's like this just screams Brock Bowers.
JJ?
JJ.
McCarthy.
No. No. And we'll talk about that in a minute, but God, I hope not. I love Jared Verse. Kool-Aid would be great, but I mean, they have a lot of capital in the secondary.
I feel like Dallas Turner because
yeah.
What was?
I mean,
Uche's getting thrown around in trade discussions a little bit.
He's an impending free agent after the season.
Yeah.
Matt Judon's getting up there battling an injury right now, so I don't hate the edge pick. I feel like Jared Verse just fits more. I mean, yeah, Bill Belichick loves drafting Alabama players, so Dallas Turner makes more sense. But just Jared Verse, with how we've seen Florida State kind of use him as an off-ball linebacker and a speed edge rusher this year, I think that could play into the favor of Bill Belichick in New England. Jared Verse, another guy who would have probably been a top 5, top 10 pick if he declared last year, but he stayed another year. It's weird because I'm pretty sure he played at like 265 last year, but he's playing this year at like 240, and he's kind of getting thrown around, and his game's been a little weird.
The only thing that worries me is you don't want players to go down.
Yeah.
That's the only, I mean, he's still a baller, obviously, but I think we're between Dallas Turner and Jared Verse here. And I really don't care about either.
But with all that being said, the Patriots have a glaring need on the offensive line. I mean, I'm going to go Jared Verse here. Yeah, they need O-line. Joe Alt's a great prospect, but the Patriots kind of just, they don't prioritize O-line. They kind of just
You drafted pretty well late, don't you?
And I mean, Cole Strange hasn't been bad. Mike Onwenu was a diamond in the rough. I mean, he's a 6th-round pick, and he was all pro as a rookie. Yeah. I mean, he was just a diamond in the rough. The Patriots kind of just draft O-linemen, develop them, and turn them into starters. That's why I'm not going to use a top 5 pick on a tackle. So I'm going to go ahead with Jared Verse, a versatile defensive player that Bill Belichick could use in a lot of different ways.
Speaking of a team that could use a tackle, Packers, who Bakhtiari hasn't played a full season in I don't know how long.
Elton Jenkins, they throw in wherever, but I mean, that's only one spot in the O-line. David Bakhtiari, you need a true tackle.
Their current tackles are Zach Tom and Rasheed Walker.
Do we need to talk about it much more? Joe Alt?
Yeah. Indianapolis Colts are up. They are a kind of weird team because, like, on paper, they have pieces, and Anthony Richardson should be coming back. I would say their receiving room took a huge step forward with Michael Pittman and Josh Downs. Really, like, they're not that bad of a football team.
Yeah.
Their line's pretty solid. The receiving core took a step up. I feel like secondary could use some help here.
Yeah. I mean, again, I wouldn't even hate Brock Bowers just because I don't think Jelani Woods is healthy yet.
I agree with that. That would be kind of gross.
Just give Ant Rich another weapon that can just cause problems on the field. They have Michael Pittman, who's their ex-receiver, primary guy. Josh Downs is their deep threat, who looks really good. Then they bring in Brock Bowers, who can do a lot of different things, who can block, who can play in the slot, who can run routes as a tight end and spread the field around him. I think that makes their offense that much more dangerous. And when they're in a situation where their defense is getting a little older, I know they have secondary needs, but I feel like every year they kind of dip into free agency a little bit, and they like to use mid-round picks on defensive guys. So it's like that's kind of why I lean Brock Bowers here, but I mean,
I feel like need-wise it's Kool-Aid, but I also feel like there might be a tier gap there that we should do.
Yeah.
Dallas Turner's also still here, but they invested pretty heavy in an edge room. I think I'm cool with Brock Bowers. I feel like there's a tier gap here.
Yeah, I mean,
we got to close.
It's fair. Brock Bowers, that's the pick. I mean, that would be just disgusting. Here we go. The first. I'll be honest. I saw something, or I don't watch a lot of Broncos football, so it's like, okay, you just kind of see what the media says, and you, from what you see of Broncos team, Russell Wilson's playing pretty good. I think he's got 18 touchdowns and 4 interceptions on the year.
Yeah, I don't watch it at all. I know his fantasy stats are pretty good. I know that's not a correlation at all. But just
compared to the narrative that the media throws around that Russell Wilson sucks, it's like I
feel like that receiving core is kind of letting him down a little bit.
Sutton has been pretty good this year, I feel like.
Yes. I don't think Jerry Judy's done much. Marvin Mims, he was good at the start, and then they kind of stopped giving him the ball.
I mean, honestly, this is a weird pick because it's literally whatever Sean Payton wants. The guy is just clearly, he likes things done his way, and he's kind of just grabbed the bull by the horns, the bull being the Denver Broncos, and just wants to take over and do it his way, like he was with the Saints and had some success all those years. So this is literally just whoever Sean Payton wants.
This just screams some just like...
I mean, honestly, I don't hate Jerzon Newton out of Illinois. I mean, you see it a lot and it goes unnoticed, but his pass rush for a huge defensive lineman goes very unnoticed. He can stuff the middle. I mean, he reminds me of a Jalen Carter almost. Like, just his pass rush isn't as glorified as Jalen Carter's was, if that makes sense. Like, he can stop the run, but also his pass rush is gross for a guy that's his size. I mean, I think that's a Broncos pick. It just really depends. The trade deadline's tomorrow as we're recording this, so it's like, what are they going to do tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, they're not bad at edge because they have Benito and Baron Browning, who are not the problem. We'll just say that.
Yeah.
Their D-line room could use some work.
I mean, if they move on from Justin Simmons, Cooper DeJean, him and Caden Stearns would kind of be nasty. I don't think they go receiver just because they did draft Marvin Mims. They have Cortland Sutton under contract for think next season. Don't know if Judy's a free agent after this year. I'm pretty
They
sure.
could use a receiver.
They could, but I don't know if that's like.
I hear you.
What is the?
It wouldn't surprise me if Sean Payton took a defensive tackle. Oh, it's a Sean Payton thing to do.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I like Jerzon Newton. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing his name right, but I mean, he's a stud. Can rush the passer. He can stuff the run. Rams. Stafford's headed to the IR. This 9 pick could jump from 9 to 5 real quick.
he's day to day. Relax, all right?
Listen,
Relax.
he potentially could be jumping to the IR.
Sean McVay says he's day to day with a UCL spin. Simmer.
Wasn't his thumb in his throwing hand?
UCL.
Okay, so he's
I don't
fucking
know.
playing.
I don't think he's playing this week, but I think it could be. All right.
Okay, I'll tell you what it's not.
What?
It's not a receiver.
Yes. Yes. I think that might be the only thing on the Rams where we can say that this is not going to be.
Yeah. I mean, again, the quarterbacks, I mean, I don't think Shador is going to declare. I think he's going to stay another year. I love Michael Penix. It's just the consensus word is that is he going to pass a lot of teams physical? A lot of draft guys love J.J. McCarthy. I just don't see it.
No, he's a sign stealer.
Bo Nix is like 87 years old. Quinn Ewers sucks. Jaden Daniels.
Where's Dylan Gabriel at?
On here, he is...
I don't want to know. Riley Leonard's too low in here. I feel like Riley Leonard's better than what he's at.
I mean, I'm at 530 and I haven't seen Dylan Gabriel.
Oh, God.
I'm
Riley Leonard should not be number 69.
Hasn't he been hurt, though?
He has a bad ankle, but still, I mean, I think he's better than...
DJ
I have him better.
Uiagalelei.
I have him better than Quinn Ewers and Bo Nix.
Yeah,
I agree. Shador, probably.
Yeah, I do think Shador stays, though. This Rams pick, it's weird, because... I mean, given Sean McVay a quarterback that plays like J.J. McCarthy could be good for them. Just because, I mean, I feel like he can throw the ball. I feel like he can get it done on the ground if he needs to. And I think that he could, open up a whole new, part of the playbook that we haven't really seen from a Sean McVay quarterback. Because, I mean, Jared Goff isn't the most mobile guy. And Matt Stafford ain't running a read option.
Yeah.
So it's and the way that a lot of these draft guys that I listen to are very high on J.J. McCarthy. So, I mean, I could see it. But I just feel like they need secondary help, too.
They need a lot.
Again, I wouldn't hate a Cooper DeJean here, kind of be a chess piece, play wherever they want him to.
I'd almost put this team as best player available that's not a receiver.
Yeah. And who was that for you? Kool-Aid, Dallas Turner. Latu could be, I think, I mean...
I would probably lean Turner.
Really? Me personally, I like Latu better, but again, the medicals with him might not be all there. So, I mean, I'm fine with Dallas Turner. Just because I don't know if his medicals are going to warrant, be good and, be there for him to go top 10. Washington.
Sam Howell had a pretty good day against Philly yesterday, so even Jahan Dotson looked good against Philly. In theory, this team's receiving core is pretty good. I don't think that they go receiver here.
This pick probably has to be O-line.
Probably, I could see that.
I mean,
thinking a guy from Bama.
J.C. Latham, not a bad pick. I like Talisi Fuaga. It's a little early for an interior lineman, though. I feel like this just has... Armarius Mims I like a lot, out of Georgia. It's just... I know that they bought in Andrew Wiley from Kansas City. Yeah. Who's their other tackle? Is it Charles Leno? Okay, so they need a tackle.
There in age.
We need a tackle here. Which one do you like? I like Armarius Mims. But again, J.C. Latham, an Alabama lineman. You can't go wrong with either.
We could send Mims.
Arizona with their second pick went Marvin Harrison Jr. at number 1 overall. This is just best player available, period. They need help in the secondary. They need help all along the defense. Do you value a Laiatu Latu, whose medicals could be questionable, a Kool-Aid McKinstry, or do you value like a Kalen King, who kind of got sunned by Marvin Harrison in the game a couple weeks ago? This is another good corner class, too. Nate Wiggins is good. Denzel Burke, Kamari Lassiter is good. Cooper DeJean, Cam Kitchens. I mean, this is a solid secondary class.
They could try and pull off the stack at tackle also after drafting Paris Johnson last year.
Yeah.
It's also on the table because they have
It's
DJ Humphries. So
he could be a cap casualty. I mean, it just really depends. I really think that they need to bring some help to the defense. I mean, they have no capital in their defense. Besides what, Zaven Collins?
Buda Baker.
Yeah, but like, who's their corners?
Marco Wilson and Antonio Hamilton.
All right, Kool-Aid. Who do you want, Kool-Aid? I mean, it's got to be Kool-Aid.
We can do Kool-Aid.
I mean, I feel like Kalen King, just watching him play scared against Marvin Harrison kind of turned me off of him a little bit.
It's fair.
Vegas screams
everything.
I mean, it just literally depends who the head coach is next year.
Because they could go receiver. It wouldn't surprise me. I don't think that the receiver turns this franchise around.
I think this is this has to be a quarterback. This screams J.J. McCarthy.
It is a Raiders pick.
Yeah. I mean, I don't love J.J. McCarthy as a prospect personally. I don't think he hasn't really wowed me. And, like, his bad games are really bad. So, like, for me, that's kind of, like, where I'm at again. I like Michael Penix a lot. I mean, again, the age and the medical is going to be a red flag to some of these teams. But, I mean, you're going to have a new coach coming in most likely because McDaniels ain't making it out of this season probably because it just hasn't worked out. He'll be back in New England. It's just, me personally, it's Michael Penix, but the way that it seems right now is a lot of these teams are going to like and are starting to like J.J. McCarthy a lot more. So I feel like that's the more realistic pick if it was to be a quarterback, I feel like. But again, the Raiders could very well just go best player available.
If they go best player available, I don't think it's a receiver.
Best player available right now, despite the medicals, is probably Laiatu Latu. I love Cooper DeJean. You know how I feel about my versatile chess pieces on defense. I love Cooper DeJean. But, I mean,
I feel like we grab a quarterback because
going against my own saying here, it is a mock. This is why we mock J.J. McCarthy. Tampa.
Tampa's up. Their number one needs a quarterback. I don't know how because they have Baker Mayfield. But, you know,
I feel like this is edge rusher. Tyrone Shoyinka has not been the edge rusher you thought.
Yeah.
Shaq Barrett's getting up there. It's like
they invest a lot in that D line. Kalijah Cansey, Vita Vey, Joe Tryon, Shaq Barrett, like you said. It's not deep, but they have invested a lot there in the recent memory. Their offensive line ain't horrible. This team isn't bad.
I just don't know.
I don't hate edge because you need a supplement for Shaq Barrett or Joe Tryon, who hasn't been the greatest.
Yeah, Laiatu Latu sitting here is kind of just like, all right, the guy's a fucking stud. Tampa, Shaq Barrett's like 33 now. Joe Tyrone's was he 2020?
I think so. Shaq Barrett's 30.
Okay, so he's a little bit younger than I thought. But still, coming off the Achilles, hasn't really...
Tryon is 2021, 24 years old.
Okay, so it's Laiatu Latu.
That's fine.
Need an edge rusher. You need somebody to kind of just... I don't think Todd Bowles is the coach after this year, again. But it's like, cornerstone pieces. You might have a guy in Baker who can get you some wins and who can hang in a non-competitive division. Your O-line is serviceable enough. They haven't looked terrible as bad as they did last year anyway. You got to start just filling in these other pieces. Chargers at 14.
I feel like this might be the easiest pick. They got to get rid of Trey Pipkins at right tackle.
J.C. Latham?
I think so.
That's fine. Yeah.
Just gotta get rid of that guy. Tennessee Titans are up. I think with these three guys at the top, I feel like they have to. One of them.
I mean, it just depends what you want. Because D-Hop's...
No.
What? Like, how many years did he sign? Was it 3? Or was it 1?
I think it was 1. 1 year, like $15 million or something.
Okay, so D-Hop's a free agent.
He's
Okay.
31 years old.
31-year-old D-Hop. Then your receiving room is Traylon Burks, who I don't know if has played at all this season,
He has played.
and Nick Westbrook-Akine.
Yeah.
Do you want to take a shot at another kind of big body jump ball receiver?
I think they learned their lesson, and they just need the best receiver.
Right now, for me, the best receiver on the board is Keon Coleman.
I think I agree with you because I think it's him or Neighbors. I don't think it's Igbuka, me personally.
No.
But
I like Roma Dunze above Igbuka as of right now.
I think they're pretty close together. I got Coleman and Neighbors over both of them, but yeah, Coleman makes plays, and
This offense just needs a playmaker. And especially, this Keon Coleman, he is kind of the big body, go up and get the ball receiver, but he's a playmaker, and this offense needs another playmaker that's not Derrick Henry.
yeah.
Traylon Burks is not who you thought, okay, you bite the bullet, whatever. A.J. Brown's really making him feel it. I like Keon Coleman here, though. It's my receiver, too, right now. New Orleans. Ryan Sawyer, my guy, Chris Olave, sucks.
It's not him. It's their car.
Yeah, the ball hitting him in the helmet.
Yeah, because he should have thrown it at his pads.
This pick just screams D-line again. But thank God there's not one here to mock for them.
They're solid secondary wise.
It sucks because they need Trevor Penning off the field so fucking bad. Trevor Penning is so bad. He's the biggest liability in football. I almost hate him more than I hate Donovan Smith.
Jesus Christ.
Like, that guy, he's just not good. Tyrann Matthews getting up there. Marcus May has not been that good since he went to New Orleans. Just keep adding depth and players to this defense.
Yeah, because they've drafted some guys on the D line.
Potentially could be receiver. Michael Thomas is. I think that they could go without receiver, though, personally. I think this is like any player in the secondary. It's too early for any of the linebackers for me. Love Jeremiah Trotter Jr., Bear Carter, Cedric Gray. But, Tommy Eichenberg has been good at Ohio State this year.
So are we thinking Kalen King?
I'm thinking Cooper DeJean. Give them a guy that can play safety. He can play free safety. He can play in the nickel. He can play on the boundary. He does it all.
You would just have to assume that one of those two guys at safety's gone next year.
How long?
Between Marcus May and Tyrann Matthews.
Not really though, because you play him on the boundary across from Marshawn Lattimore.
I'm pretty sure Paulson Adela's been decent.
Then you put packages where you throw Honey Badger in the nickel and you throw Cooper DeJean back at safety.
Yeah,
it's like you can never have too many chess pieces on defense, especially in this new age of football that we're starting to see and the way these offenses are being ran. That's how I look at it anyway. I like Cooper DeJean here. If you disagree, we can pivot, but that's where I'm going. I know that we feel differently about the value of players like that.
We can do it.
Sweet. Jets. I feel like that this could be receiver. Like, honestly.
They only have one. So
Lazard's good for what he is. Randall Cobb is slow as shit.
They only have one, and they're sitting here with stud receivers on the board as the top players.
Former reunite teammates for the storyline?
For the storyline? Because he's going to be fighting for him. It's only right. We love a storyline.
Me personally, I would.
We love a storyline.
Me personally, it's Malik Neighbors, but we love the storyline. Emeka Egbuka reuniting with Garrett Wilson and Aaron Rodgers on his last ride.
Now the Bengals could do something funny.
In theory, depending on what happens with T. Higgins.
Because T. Higgins is gone. Here's the supplement right here.
Malik Neighbors.
Oh, man.
There's not really an O-lineman here worth taking for me. I
don't
think,
so.
again, it's too early for an interior O-lineman. Graham Barton ain't terrible. I think it might be a little early, though. I mean,
Could use another edge, probably. But they,
I feel like they're about to lose DJ Reader or BJ Hill to free agency, if I remember something I saw earlier. So, I mean, this could be D-line. I wouldn't hate edge, but you got a cousin named Jack?
yeah. It's a little early for him, though, so.
Yeah. Again,
Should we just, if T. Higgins is gone, they would take Neighbors of you this year. If we're being honest.
can you pull up their roster again? I mean, their secondary's been fine. Chidobe Awuzie, Cam Taylor-Britt's been good for them.
I feel like this whole team just has no holes, but they don't.
They could have
Shine.
used a Cooper DeJean here, just because they did just lose their two best safeties, and Dax Hill has been up and down. But, I mean, again, you never know. T. Higgins could be gone.
If T. Higgins is gone, they take Malik Neighbors and they don't think twice.
If he's available.
Yes, correct.
Or do you want to give him Xavier Worthy?
No.
Malik Neighbors to Cincy. Just T. Higgins goes to New England and reunites with Caleb Williams.
Yeah, sure.
T. Higgins and Caleb Williams are in New England and Malik Neighbors is a Bengal.
You wish.
Is that the pick, though, Malik Neighbors? I mean, I don't hate it. Malik Neighbors is a stud.
Yeah, we're really just taking the gamble on if T. Higgins is back next year.
But in this situation, he's gone. This is why we mock. Atlanta at 19.
They need a quarterback.
Yeah. Like,
Oh my goodness, Atlanta.
Me personally, with the mock drafts I've done, I'm not mocking Shador just because I don't think that he is going to
Is there a better place for him to land than Atlanta?
Dallas.
He was
a
bigger
free
in
agent.
Atlanta. He was bigger.
I get it, but still.
Because he was a Brave in Atlanta.
Where's the big market?
He was a Brave.
Would
in
you
Atlanta.
rather play in Dallas or Atlanta?
Obviously, Dallas is the bigger market.
Exactly. And it's
the
Shador
Sanders
and
has-
the NIL and the sponsorships and the Coach Prime who will come take over for Mike McCarthy.
I
It's
want
like
that.
you're getting a whole package with Shador.
I'm taking him. At
And you're getting a
26.
whole transfer portal. I think, though, Desmond Ritter got benched yesterday. They said he was showing concussion symptoms, but
Grady Jarrett tore his ACL.
he did.
I feel like that's something that we have to take into account because he is.
They just
getting
traded for like a third-string defensive tackle from Philly, though.
old. They have Calais Campbell, who is getting up there.
Mm-hmm.
David Onyemata is getting up there. He's 30. This D line is getting they're light on depth and they're getting old.
Yeah, but are they just going to keep... Arthur Smith is gone.
They traded a 6th-round pick for that D line from Philly. I am not in the slightest worried about him at all. Actually, they traded a 7th. They traded a 6th for him and a 7th. So there really wasn't much there. Philly basically gave that guy away.
I don't love any of the D linemen here right now. I don't.
I think it's their biggest position in need, but I hear what you're saying.
Damian Robinson, I don't hate out of Penn State.
They could still use a quarterback.
If Shador declares, it's Shador, but he's not, so they need a quarterback. They have too much capital invested in the offense to continue throwing random dudes out there at quarterback. They have to invest.
Could declare. I know Dion said that he's not, but
I really don't think he does.
the O-line's been horrible.
I get it, but they keep investing in the offense except quarterback, which is the most important position. If they don't invest in a quarterback, then I feel like that it's almost like wasting 3 top 10 picks on a tight end, a wide receiver, and a running back.
Yeah.
It's Michael Penix for me.
It's fine.
Putting him in an offense with Bijan, Drake London, and Kyle Pitts behind a very good O-line is probably the best case scenario for him because he's going to be protected and he has the weapons to be a playmaker. I think that's a very good fit.
Michael Penix would have looked good in a Vikings uniform, I can tell you that.
Atlanta just needed him more. 20, the Vikings. Kirk Cousins tore his Achilles. He probably played his last snap in Minnesota. Extremely unfortunate. Sounds like they're about to get Jameis.
They need a quarterback. Not sure there's one here.
No. Hell no. Bo Nix screams Patriot in like the middle of the second round, and I'm so against it. It's not receiver. They've hit on receiver the past 2 times. They can't. Tell you, it's not a running back.
Good. Okay, so receiver they're fine, tight end they're fine. Running back they keep missing, but
I mean, Cam
But they
Akers
don't
scored a
keep
touchdown. They
Yeah.
got something there.
Then
Cam
they're good.
Akers.
Offensive line ain't horrible.
I feel like that
They're
this
actually pretty good.
1,000,000% needs to be a corner.
Yeah.
Like, who are their... Andrew Booth sucks.
Byron Murphy.
is not a dominant CB1.
Caleb Evans.
Okay, this is Nate Wiggins.
Give him in.
Take a shot at another Clemson corner.
For the storyline. We love to see it.
Pittsburgh. Mocking for the Steelers, you never know this early until the season ends and you see which players that Mike Tomlin and the Steelers are doing the most with. 2 years ago, they did it with quarterback, drafted Kenny Pickett. Last year, they did it at O-tackle and got Broderick Jones. It just depends what they do this year. I don't think receivers completely out of the question, to be honest. Again, would have loved Cooper DeJean here. Him and Minka would be gross. Again, this could be corner. Joey Porter took Levi Wallace's spot. Pat Pete sucks. Levi Wallace is terrible. This could be back-to-back corners. For the storyline. You see it?
We love the storyline.
Back-to-back Penn State corners. Kalen King.
I'm here for it.
Me too. We just Penn State secondary. They've been pretty good. Houston at 22.
Huh.
There's not... I mean... Let me see what their team looks like. Because, I mean... Could be Talise Fuaga. Could be. Need some help on the O-line. Could be receiver. Because, I mean...
It's Tank Dell, Nico Collins, and John Mechie, and...
I mean, let's be real here. John Mechie's got an amazing story, but he hasn't really panned out from what we've seen.
O-line, they got Laramie Tunsil, Shaq Mason, Tyus Howard. Shaq
Jared
Mason's getting
Patterson.
up.
Kenyon Green's on IR. Shaq Mason's getting older. Why did I forgot. I was looking for him during the Bucks game the other day, and I was so confused. And then I remember he was a Texan.
I mean, Dunes is here.
Romo Dunze.
Yeah.
I feel like he's more of that big body guy, though. Like, similar to how Nico Collins is. Go back to the mock draft real quick. I want to see something. Yeah, I feel like he's, like, just, like, a big body Nico Collins type of guy. So it's, like, is that what they need? I think they need I mean, they have Nico Collins as their outside big body receiver. They have Tank Dell as their slot kind of gadget guy. Do whatever you want. I do think, though, with kind of how the way the offense has looked, I think it's another weapon, or I think it's a piece for D'Amico Ryans on the defense to have some fun with. Just because their defense is very young, and the parts that aren't young, they're older free agent guys.
Depending on how Xavier Worthy tests, he could be a potential.
Yeah.
Because if his speed is stupid, then...
Yeah, which, I mean, I feel like that would be good. Just give C.J. Stroud a true outside deep threat, because Tank Dell is, like, so small.
Yeah.
Like, but, I mean, he's physical, though. I like Xavier Worthy here. I mean, that kind of gives you almost a faster Robert Woods who can kind of just play all over the field and get open in space and can beat somebody over the top.
Yeah.
So I like Xavier Worthy here.
San Fran's next up.
Quarterback.
Could it be a quarterback?
Brock Purdy's Linsanity run is over. Debo Samuel's getting up there. Brandon Ayuk's a stud. Roma Dunze.
Yeah. I mean, stay on the West Coast.
Yeah, not even that. It's just I feel like they have to stick with Purdy.
I don't think this isn't his problem. He has had a concussion and he's
Fair.
banged up. It is what it is.
But I mean, though, with Debo getting hurt, I mean, they could use O-line. I mean, I wouldn't hate it Talisi Fuaga here. Again, keep him on the West Coast. He's a big interior lineman that's violent in the run game and can play in pass pro. I don't hate that either. But, I mean, the secondary could also be a need because their secondary's been pretty bad.
Charvarius Ward's solid. Hufunga. Deshaun Gibson's getting up there.
I don't even know how he's still in the league.
33.
What do you value more, a Romadunze or like a corner, like a Kamari Lassiter's here? I like him a lot. I think he's a mid to late first round guy.
I feel like it's corner because I don't know if the Niners need to spend that much capital on a receiver.
It's fair. I like Kamari Lassiter over
cool.
Denzel Burke right now. Buffalo. Romadunze. I feel like they would have loved a Xavier Worthy here, just as to be a real deep threat for them.
They need a true number 2.
I mean, Romadunze has been phenomenal, to say the least, at Washington with Michael Penix throwing him the ball. Josh Allen's got the arm, so it's just let him go up and make a play.
It's him.
Detroit.
Dan Campbell can do a defensive thing. He could...
I feel like they have a lot of capital invested in edge to the point where they would kind of.
I feel like corner is kind of something they need here.
Yeah,
They don't have like a true corner.
it's true. There's no one.
We just
really,
took a corner.
There's really no one here that's like, oh shit, like that guy's like a stud. Josh Newton isn't awful. Kalen Carson at Wake Forest has been solid.
We need better than isn't awful.
We should have drafted TJ Tampa to the Bucks for the ultimate storyline. Kind of folded that. It's really kind of just...
Jeremiah Trout?
Dan Campbell doesn't give a shit about anyone's draft rankings. He's going to draft his guy. They hit on Brian Branch, so that
we
kind of...
gotta just find a Dan Campbell guy. Just
Who's
like somebody down there.
The meanest
Jeremiah Trotter?
lineman here.
You want lineman?
I don't hate JT Tuimalu at this spot. It's just another edge piece out of the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Dan Campbell, he kind of drafts whoever, so it's kind of like, oh, throw a dart at a dartboard for the Lions, especially this early.
I feel like these guys are too high, though.
It's fair. Who are you thinking, then?
I really don't know.
All right. I'm going to just take this one. It's JT Tuimalu out of Ohio State. Just bring in another edge rusher. James Houston's been hurt for them this year. Bring in another good edge rush prospect across from Aiden Hutchinson and Dan Campbell's defense.
Oh, God. Great. Cowboys pick. There's nothing on the board that I want.
Blake Corum.
No.
Tony Pollard 2.0.
No.
All right. Will Shipley.
No. Shador Sanders. Hopefully this pick is like Pat Surtain or something. I don't know. I hate this so much. They could use this. This defense is good. I feel like line could use some help, but they need a center. Granted, I shouldn't be drafting a center at the 26th pick.
This is going to be the 32nd pick in the draft, Ryan.
You're right. So I can...
And they're still going to get Shador. And Coach Prime.
We're going to have his draft rights.
Yup.
Okay, it's not defensive tackle. Because they just took one.
Yes.
I could be receiver. I don't think so. And there's not really one up here. So it's not that.
Johnny Wilson.
Tackle, they got Tyron Smith and Terrence Steele. I hate this.
This could be Graham Barton. Tyron Smith is like 150 years old, and he's made of glass.
He is getting up there in age. It wouldn't surprise me if Dallas took an offensive.
Finally invest in the O-line.
back like in the old days when they used to all the time.
Exactly. Graham Barton.
Yeah, we could do that.
Jags. I feel like they need somebody playing across from Andre Sisco.
What do you mean? They got
Yeah, let's hear who they got.
Rashawn Jenkins.
Cam Kitchens is the pick.
All right, fair.
Safety out of Miami. Keep him in Florida for the storyline.
Baltimore.
Pick
I
a
love
D
picking for
lineman or edge
Baltimore.
rusher. Just pick an edge or a D lineman.
Probably top guy. Robinson. from
Damian
Penn State.
Robinson.
If it, Jason O was there too, so they might as well complete that
For the
storyline.
storyline. That's such a cop. Seattle traded a second-round pick for Leonard Williams today. So what better way for the storyline?
Then to get Leonard Taylor.
Nah. All seriousness, though, I feel like this is a defensive player. I feel like this is where we could see a linebacker come off the board. Jeremiah Trotter. I think they could use the help on the D-line. Leonard Taylor might not be a meme draft pick for the storyline. I think they're fine at corner. They hit like crazy on Devin Witherspoon. Their O-line's been solid.
Yeah, their corners.
This is probably a linebacker. I mean, Bobby Wagner's 100.
So.
Jordan Brooks, I feel like, has been injury plagued the past couple seasons and just really has kind of regressed a little bit. I'm going with the son of a former NFL legend, Jeremiah Trotter, over his teammate, respectfully.
It's good, man.
Who's the fastest guy?
All right. Lion or Dolphins? Ooh, I don't know why I was thinking Lions.
I mean, I'm thinking O-line here.
Probably.
I like Talise Fuaga. It's late. They need help on the O-line. They need a guy who can be very aggressive and run the kind of the zone run scheme that they like to do. Take it outside, can make a reach block, can get up to the second level. I think Talise Fuaga is that guy.
Anything to protect him. Yeah, I agree. Chiefs are next up.
Nice.
Shador. They could use some receiver help, probably. Sky Moore ain't the answer. Rasheed Rice is looking solid for him. I'm not sure he's the wide receiver 1 alpha that they're looking for, but I feel like he's going to be a long-term starter for this squad.
I agree.
Defense could probably use a little bit of love. Nick Bolton being hurt obviously hurts them. Charles Omenihu don't start. It's interesting.
I think he was suspended to start the year.
He was, but I feel like they were just throwing back in there. O-line side, they need a left tackle. Is there a left tackle here?
No. I mean, Kingsley Suamataya, maybe. Tyler Guyton, Boomer.
Donnie Mitchell?
I don't hate it. I don't hate it, Donnie Mitchell.
Just
keep bringing help to the receiver room until you
just hope that, yes.
Because, Sky Moore
he's not done.
MVS is going to have his game or two a year. Rasheed Rice has kind of done everything he needed to in terms of changing up his game. We saw at SMU, he wasn't the biggest guy, but he played really big.
He is pretty big, I think. Pretty sure he's 6'3".
Is he? Who the fuck am I thinking?
No, he's 6'1". You're right.
He's not the biggest guy in the world, but he plays like you would think he's 6'3" the way he plays.
Yeah.
So I like a Donnie Mitchell here. Just give Mahomes more of a threat on offense.
Yeah.
Then Philly. Where is who's the highest rated Georgia player?
Scroll down a little bit for this one. All right.
Damn, talk about a storyline. Jeremiah Trotter Jr.
Well, he's
fumble.
Gone, so.
Again, with the D-line getting old and with us being at almost 50 minutes now, there's not a Georgia D-line here.
Take us away.
We're going to go with Leonard Taylor out of Miami. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
See ya.
Peace.